When you ask for exceptions, people get all freaked out because then they got to do it for the neighbor, right? So it makes it really hard to get. This goes back to the fact that you guys have all bounded together and we've got 100 or 82 people in Otter Creek. Otter Creek will never in a million years be able to afford it. We can't afford it. So we're saying that there's very few places in the state of Florida that actually has the situation that we do related to our economic limitations. It isn't going to get done on the first pass, but we have had some success. We have a bill right now that is to address the issue of pay to play. So when the Department of the Water Management District gives you a grant, they don't give you the grant and then you spend it. That is not how that works. They give you the money and then say, okay, you spend that money and you send me the invoice and I'll reimburse you for the invoice. Y'all don't have $10 million to front forward. You don't have $1 million to front forward. You don't have the money to pay for something and then wait to get reimbursed. So we have asked, and there's a bill on the floor that will allow us to have direct pay option so that we can get the money from the state and it doesn't have to be fronted. And I think we tried it last year and the bill did not go through last year, but it does have. So can I guarantee we're gonna get it? No. Will we get it straight out of the gate? Probably not. Will it take you, and you calling your representatives and getting engaged and saying, yeah, like, we need to have this? Yes, it's going to. So nobody's ever really done it successfully, but hell, nobody's ever got $42 million either. So, you know, there's that.
Just make sure we get City on the creek to make them phone calls, because it seems like they're going to get the favor. So make sure they're making them phone calls. For real, I'm being real. I'm just being totally real. I know they're going to look out for them because of this hurricane and all this other stuff that happened and throw things up, but, and I said that in the beginning of this project, the city kids involved in this project is gonna get funded. And that's the way I feel. I mean, I feel that way just because.
You know who I think is the most underutilized resource that I haven't heard anybody say, and I don't understand why not? It's Commissioner Wilton Simpson. He's a farmer. If he knows what this is, it's him. So wouldn't he be a great advocate for you guys to the governor's office and the cabinet as a farmer from an area that understands rural government? Are there any questions about this exception or the funding that we have received?
Not a question.
That's it.
I mean, we're probably not at that point yet, but I think everybody's got a question about it. Because Bronson's going to keep its internal utility system. So there's going to be a bill that goes out to residents just like it does now. Are we close to knowing how much the wholesale water bill for Bronson will be, water and sewer bill will be for Bronson every month? It's X number of thousands of dollars. Because I'm assuming you're just going to bill Bronson one lump sum every month, right? The WFUC.
So I don't think that the implementation agreement tells that, but usually the way that it works is at the beginning, everybody says Bronson, Cedar Keys, they will say, hey, I want this much water. And then there's a true-up process, right? And did you use that much water? And then it comes time to pay the bill. So you pay for what you use, but depending how you contractually obligate this, Cedar Key may take more than they originally said they wanted. So they would end up having to pay more. So you pay for what you use, but everybody says, hey, we're going to use this much. And then it's a true-up process at the end of maybe Otter Creek used more or you guys use more. What the cost is going to be administratively, we told you all the construction and all the engineering for the water has completed. Those administrative costs, I don't know what they are right now, but I would imagine they would be relatively minimal overall. Because you didn't pay for the construction, but you still have chlorine. Right? You still have to put chlorine in, you still have to, so that cost, and we have some estimates for what we think that might be. Go ahead.
Well, so you don't know yet.
I can't know that, but I can give you an estimate based on either what you guys already pay for those kinds of services or what we see, right, paid in other
Well,
places.
I don't think Bronson residents want $100 bill coming in because they're paying Bronson bill and the wholesale water and sewer bill, you know.
So I don't think it works that way.
They just merge them all into one.
That was the beauty of you guys keeping your own to decide how you were gonna do that, but you're keeping your own water plan, so you continue to pay the bills that you already have. If they take more water, whatever the cost of that water may be for administrative types, I imagine it would be somewhat minimal. Yes, the town would have to decide, is that something that they wanna do, like just a surcharge that's like $1 a month, depending on, I mean, the town's gotta make the decision on how that would look like. The wastewater, because it's not 100% funded right now, is the bill. That's the substantial bill. And we've already said, as of right now, the way it is not affordable for the average family based on what we have right now. But again, you guys may not need all that capacity. We may change some things and we're hoping to get more funding. So if you're saying, can Dewberry give the town of Bronson how much money their water bill is going to be more based on the 100% paid for? No, I can't tell you exactly, but we could probably give you some general estimate based on what we've seen in other places, yes. And we've already done so for the wastewater side of the house, based on what we have.
Yeah, fully operational, $87 per household.
Yeah, that's water and wastewater, that's total.
So you'd like to see that split out?
We can split it up between water and wastewater.
So the 87 per, you'd like to see, not for water and wastewater, you want to see how much it is per household for water, and then how much it would be per household based on the customer. So you'd like to see it broke out, not 87 for everything, but how much it might be for water and how much it might be for wastewater?
Well, 87 is a good number for me as far as what you're going to be charging, what Bronson residents are going to be paying for your W3C services. You know, but that number is going on top of what Bronson residents already paid.
That's exactly right.
Yeah?
It is. And
To
that's
some
why
extent, because you gotta remember, some expenses that Bronson has today
it's going to come
are gonna
off.
come off because of W3C. So
The
the
80
operational expenses for
The $87 is gonna hit before the first gallon of water gets drawn.
No, because we're going through SRF and it doesn't happen until after everything's
No,
done.
I understand, but your bill, if the town of Bronson's got X amount of hookups and they got a minimum amount of hookups, your bill's going up. If last month your bill was $1, this month it's $88. Is that correct?
Depending on what part of that dollar is being replaced by W3C, right? So if you pay $10 today, and in that $10 you're paying the town of Bronson to manage, operate your wastewater plant, and they're not gonna do that anymore, then they're gonna have to reduce that cost, right? So that part of the bill will go down, and then it'll be supplemented by annual bills that we will bill, the W3C would bill to Bronson on an annual or sub-annual basis. That's the way SRF works. You pay twice a year.
Does the town of Bronson know what it costs y'all to produce wholesale water today to compare to what W3C is gonna charge for wholesale water today?
We have a base rate for, the base rate for sewer right now is around $85. 87.
87.54, I think is the bill.
50 per
But you
month.
can't do away with all that, because when you're talking sewer, you're just talking about W3Cs accepting the sewer. You still gotta have Curtis and them to get it to the facility
There will be some costs associated with piping and all that. You're right.
and maintaining the system.
And maintain your collection system,
Well,
correct?
W3C would.
They're only maintaining the facility, they're not maintaining your system.
Right, yeah, the pipes inside the city, you're right.
But they own the land.
Where the
Under
plant
the
sits,
W3C, you own the land.
Where the plant
The
sits.
plant
Where the
is.
plant is.
They don't-
where the facility is, correct?
Is there a way to get better numbers for how many
better
Go
numbers.
ahead and ask the question.
We
For
just
how
need
many-
more money. We need more money.
No, I mean for how many, no, because what Daniel said actually really made so much sense. If there's a way to get better numbers on how many hookups they have in Cedar Key, because there's no way that we should be responsible for more of the funding if they have twice as many hookups. And even if we brought it down to say, okay, they have 2 in each spot, they're still averaging the same amount as us.
Okay, let me,
But I
so
still
let me
think, let me say
explain
this real
this
quick,
first.
I think the water usage is gonna
Yes.
be the thing. It doesn't matter right now. If she had on that paper that there was 10,000 hookups in City Key, the amount of water that's being used is what's gonna be the determinant as far as what the cost will be to the city and our city. So if it's a million hookups, but the amount of water that's used is what's gonna be the thing they use to figure that cost. If you tell you exactly how many hookups in City Key, it doesn't matter how much water is being used in City Key.
That doesn't matter on the back end when we're sending water to them.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, what he was saying was, if we're responsible for a higher percentage of the funding,
We have those sides.
and they have.
So the hookup has to do with the city. So the hookup only matters to Cedar Key because what it is W3C will bill, let's say they'll bill, let's use us for an example. They'll send us our bill for the amount of gallons that we as a town have used. Then the town of Bronson will disperse that according to how many hookups we have. So our hookup number doesn't matter to W3C and Cedar Keys doesn't matter to us. They're gonna get billed for their gallons and then they
The
will
hookups,
disperse
the
it.
hookups don't matter neither.
Right,
The
according to the
amount
hookups.
of gallons that the person uses is
Right.
what matters, so.
Right.
Right, but is that gonna change the $8 million,
Exactly.
$8.6 million that Bronson's on the hook for?
Again, it's by percentage of usage. So
That's
just hookups, take that out,
I understand.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
understand.
Yeah.
But where did we come up with Bronson pays 8.6 million, Cedar Key pays 6 million?
Exactly.
If we didn't use hookups.
back to what you're saying, because these percentages.
And then there's also.
Okay, so that's not fixed. When it actually goes into play, then you'll have a real number.
Yeah, so this is our best guess, as we get to 60, if we move forward.
If you were gonna guess and make us happy, you should have put Cedar Key above, bro. It's just a guess, right?
Again, it's a guess based on the number of people and what we've seen occur. Again, here I can show you,
I make no apologies, wait anymore, man.
While you're going to that slide, can I have a 3-minute, are you about done, or, I mean, can I speak a piece real quick?
you can do whatever you'd like, sir,
As long
at the discretion of the mayor.
I'll say this, after the meeting today, I met with the 2 people from Dewberry today, great people, nice people, answered every question I had. I don't doubt anything that they said tonight, with the exception of how do we come across our percentages, and I think I understand that because they're saying, hey, Bronson might in the future want more. And Cedar Key's not gonna get more because Iowa's not getting any bigger. I think that may be what you're saying.
That's right.
Nevertheless, when I see that Bronson could potentially have 700 hookups, but we only have 280 now, and Cedar Key already has 1,000, we're at 20% of their current hookups on sewer, and we're paying 50% of the bill.
51.
Ma'am?
51.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm gonna shotgun these questions at y'all, and this is more for y'all after Dewberry. Like I say, got complete respect for Dewberry, but Dewberry's the engineering firm that's gonna get it implemented, and when it goes online, they throwing us the deuces and leaving. So no disrespect to y'all, but I'm gonna ask y'all this as the board, and I'm just, like I say, don't worry about answering them, just contemplate them, and if you want them, I'll back up. But who holds the $8 million loan for the deficit of the percentage, our $8 million? Who holds that note? Does W3C hold it or the town of Bronson hold it?
W3C.
Okay. Does the cost, so that can be fluctuating. If WC3 holds it and Cedar Key uses more water, they'll pay more of the $8 million, or do we pay $8 million no matter what?
No, they pay more.
Yeah, it's by usage, so whatever we bill them.
That sounds good. Does the cost, does the cost of your $80-something per unit in Bronson, does that account for the administrative overhead and maintenance costs?
Yes, as the best we've estimated it.
So that's gonna cost $87, that's everything,
Water and sewer.
okay.
But that's not counting your city employees that go out there and take care, because they're gonna still have to
That's
actually go out there.
That's W3C
That's
costs for
totally
delivering water and sewer.
But that's like a surcharge, and then you start charging for water on top of that.
No, that is $87 for water and sewer, assuming you're gonna use the full capacity we told you you're gonna use.
So the Bronson's water bill will be $87 per person
For connection,
per connection at their full
water
use.
and sewer, $87 per connection, assuming you're gonna use the
What you're using
full,
now, are using the full amount.
the full
What
amount.
is the full amount?
Assuming 700 connections too.
Right.
Well, but that's the biggest problem, the 700 connections versus
We
280.
have to buy is more.
But that actually concerns me more.
That, assuming you're gonna use 255,000 gallons of water and 204,000 gallons of wastewater.
That's per month,
All right, well now, I've been addressing
Per day.
Bronson,
per day?
but
Million gallons per day.
let me address Mr. W3C here. Here's where your concern should be.
In a tiara.
Yeah, here's where your concern should be. You gotta pay back an $8 million loan plus a $6 million loan, assuming that we're gonna have 700 connections in the city of Bronson, and we've only got 250. How are you gonna pay that loan back?
Out of all the questions everybody has, that is my concern. That is my concern.
Don't jump off on W3C and then it go bankrupt in 2 years.
100%. That's what I'm terrified of.
Let me finish my questions and I'm gonna tell you something on a clue. So,
Ask Dewberry if that's my concern. I've
It
said
is.
nothing, but we
It is.
need free. We
She
need free.
thinks
We
it's
need
up.
free.
so back to the question, what does it cost the city of Bronson? Right now, it's gonna cost the city of Bronson the $87 to get water from W3C to provide to the customer. What is it costing Bronson, not what they're charging the consumer, but what is it costing them
For our employees.
for your everything, overhead?
Right.
The mayor's paid, the council's paid, that
The
light
mayor
bill.
pay don't count.
What is it? You gonna get
I
it?
got it right here.
What is it costing the city? Not what are we charging the city, but what's it costing the city to put that water in the spigot now versus what's it gonna cost from W3C? I don't think we have that,
We don't.
but that's something that I would
100%.
advise y'all to find out before you jump off the
100%.
deep end of the pool.
And that's one reason I personally, and I can't speak for anybody up here, but I have not felt comfortable signing any agreement until all of these are worked out. I wanted the test well done, and I drove that. We need the test drill. I've told everybody that a million times. We need the test done. We need the test done. I don't want to sign anything until we have the test done. And I can't sign it by myself anyway. It's everybody here has to vote on it and decide. And I believe the mayor would sign it too, and me.
Wait, no.
If it went through.
Next question. Does Bronson keep its consumptive use permits to pump water for themselves?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard that both ways today.
The town of Bronson is keeping their own because we are supplementing what you have.
Okay, because I did hear today something
Cedar
about.
Key and Otter Creek are
Force
replacing theirs with this.
Okay, so Bronson stands alone,
Bronson will maintain your system.
which I can tell you probably won't make any sense, or it will either starve W3C to death, one of the two. If Bronson continues to try to pump water, if they pump water and continue to serve their citizens and only need 10% of the use from W3C is either gonna charge us $500 a connection or either go broke, one of the two.
It's gonna be
I
like
have the
Willis.
same concern.
So that was that question. Will the line, this is more for you, will the lines between here and Cedar Key be able to be put on existing DOT right away, or will you have to acquire land?
We are in the right of way.
Have you asked the DOT if they're okay with putting it down there yet?
Yeah, we will have to get a right of way use permit.
Right.
Correct.
What about that line shows going under the red light in Bronson? I mean, are you gonna be able to bore under that state highway that far? I mean, Chiefland's about to lose their mind about going under 19, and there's nothing on either side of it where they're at.
Yeah.
And there's a brand new gas station, a hardware store that belongs on the Historical Society website and such as that to get under there. It could cost $10 million. It could cost $10 million to go 500 foot right there.
They ain't holding back.
Understand.
Let's see. How's the town? Yeah, we discussed how the town of Bronson gonna get the 700 from the 200 we got to make this feasible. Will Cedar Key and Otter Creek give that money that the governor just give them to this?
So the Cedar Key funding they've got is to build the facilities to connect this up to them.
So they're gonna keep that to hook their stuff up down
We're
there.
stopping, if you recall, on the first map I showed, we're stopping 7 miles outside of
Right.
Cedar Key. They are building the infrastructure from that point to their city, and that's what that money's for.
What about Otter Creek? They gonna give their money or they keeping it too?
They're the only money that, I don't know what Otter Creek's money's for, so I can't speak to Otter Creek.
So, well, no, they just got, the governor just give them $2 or $3 million a week or two ago.
Yeah, that's more than likely, I would assume that they would use that money for the hookups, because after they get clean water, they
You know what assuming does though, don't you?
Yeah, Otter Creek has a pretty new water system, their wastewater has to get built. So maybe for that.
My last question is, will W3C hold a bond in the event there's a sewage leak or something like that damages the aquifer or damages this water supply that's within? Don't wrinkle your nose about that. I just sat through sand mine stuff, and they want a sand mine that ain't digging but 20 or 30 foot deep to have a bond for $3 or $4 million in case there's a fuel spill of 100 gallons. I mean,
W3C will follow the municipal rules and regulations needed for a municipal.
meaning that they can't be sued for more than $300,000 in the event there's a disaster.
Just like Bronson, just like W3C, yes. They're a state special district, regional water supply authority designation, and they will follow the same rules that any other water wastewater system follows.
Meaning that if there's a sewage leak, we just gonna have to go back for more money.
Well, they'll have to go fix it. It'll fall on W3C.
That's all my questions. But I'll say this. Like I say, got respect for these two. I think if we're gonna do it, they're the people to do it with. But why do you have a county or a city attorney? What's he here for? He's here to advise y'all on legal decisions y'all don't know the answer to. Is any of y'all an expert on what we're talking about? I would advise y'all. Now, I don't live in the city. I do pay taxes in the city. Brand new. I'm the newest taxpayer in the city of Bronson. But I can't vote here, but I do pay taxes. I would advise y'all to seek an expert in this field that says, yes, what they're doing is this is right, this is right, this is right. Yes, they're right. They can get the grants through Cedar Creek and Otter Creek, but y'all can't. Y'all are best suited to jump on the wagon with them. Or either no, y'all probably get it by yourself a lot cheaper. I'm neither here nor there. I'm not the expert. Today at 2 o'clock, I was 100% against it. I'm a little less than 100% against it now after talking with them. But we're talking business now. We're talking what about after the fact. Don't get W3C and the town of Bronson into something that they can't dig out of one way or the other. Right now, we're jumping on it with, hey, let's get ahead of the mandates. Well, like you say, what are they going to do, eat us? I mean, if you don't do it, they either tell you to do it and here's somebody to do it with, or they just let you keep going like you're going. That graph that showed how much increase in sewage in Bronson, it stayed flat for 5 years. You know why? Because you ain't hooked no more sewers to it. It'll stay just that flat for the next 10 years if y'all don't hook no more sewer systems to it. But that's what y'all need to have, and no disrespect to them, but you need a third party to tell you, yeah, that's a good deal, or no, that's not a good deal. I sit here tonight, and there was a famous, she's become, or not famous, infamous congresswoman that said one time, you have to approve the bill to know what's in it. This is as close as I've heard to that in local government tonight. What's it gonna cost us? I don't know. Once we get it up and running, we can tell you. And then guess what? You're gonna pay it. What's that?
Well, we're hoping that we'll know a little bit better. I mean, we're going to Tallahassee on Tuesday to go and beg for more money and to try to get them to release that 80% cutoff.
I understand, but even with that, nobody can still tell me tonight what it costs Bronson to make water today, and what it's going, or even what W3C is going to charge us to make water.
Well, I will tell you this, honestly. If we were to get 100% funding, then W3C would only have to charge us per gallon enough to keep the facility maintained. Okay? Now, on our end, on Bronson's end, our debt would be completely paid off because of the sale of the land, our personal debt. So that base rate for sewer right now, we don't need it anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you on if you were to get 100% funding, you wouldn't have your debt. But you're now paying a middleman for the water that you used to get on your own.
Right.
You just flip the switch, pay the light bill, pump water. Now you're paying W3C to be the middleman.
Right.
And I agree that they have to maintain a facility. But right now, Curtis and his crews is maintaining that facility. Now, are y'all gonna fire Curtis? Curtis, if you need a job, call me. But if you're not gonna fire Curtis, you still have the cost of Curtis's salary and all his
We
employees.
would still have to maintain that well anyway.
No, you won't maintain that because they're buying that, but you'll maintain everything outside of that
No, we
property.
will be maintaining the well that we have.
Yeah, you'll maintain the 2 wells that are left. That's correct. You are correct.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. You're not getting rid of Curtis, but there's gonna be a new Curtis. There's gonna be a new $80,000 pickup truck for the new Curtis to drive. There's gonna be 3 new pickup trucks for the maintenance guys to drive and 3 new maintenance guys. In that scheme, in that site plan, there's an administrative building. You know what administrative buildings have? Light bills, employees, secretaries, all that stuff costs money. And W3C's got an attorney too. Y'all already paying one attorney, now you're gonna be paying a second attorney at W3C. I'm not against it. I'm just telling you, you gotta get all the facts, and I don't think y'all have it.
I wanted to ask, sir, from are we able to leave a well monitor for observation in
Yeah,
there?
we're gonna get to the well testing, that's next part of, I think, the
Okay,
conversation,
okay.
so I'm happy to talk about wells and water.
I'm sorry.
To answer your question now, this is the cost for W3C to Bronson. This is our best estimate, right? So if you get off at the 60% ramp, you owe $510,000 back to W3C. Again,
They don't have a nickel of the water,
you don't have a nickel of water, that's right.
but we still.
If you get off 100%, you get $663,000 as your debt, total. Not 500 plus 6, it's total 663. If you go all in, the debt for Bronson, held by W3C, as she said, that's your portion based on the 51%. That's gonna change, we all know that, right? That's the best numbers we have, that's the cost today. That's administration cost, that's our estimates for maintenance, that's our estimates to run the thing, that's for staff, that's for the attorney in W3C.
Does that go away when $8 million is paid back? Does that $87 go down?
Because this is debt service, and this is the whole program cost, right? So the answer is no, you still have administration staff, you have maintenance, you have all that. It gets down, it goes down,
That's what I'm saying.
right?
Like I say, I'm not sitting here standing up telling y'all don't do it, but I'm telling y'all that good business is you get a third party to scrutinize their plan and their long term, and number one, see if it's gonna work for Bronson, and number two, see if it's gonna work for W3C, or everybody's gonna be thirsty and the toilets is gonna be clogged.
1,000%. I agree.
Why did you, they have like statistics for just the connection of 700, why didn't they put it for what we have?
So,
That way the numbers could look totally different.
again, one of the problems with putting a connection fee is we don't understand your rate structure, we don't know how you charge your citizens, we don't know what connection fees you charge, right? That is all up to you guys, how you handle your billing for your residents. All I can tell you is what W3C will charge the town of Bronson based upon our estimated usage.
Because that number would be $250 a unit at 280 versus 700. Is that
Right,
correct?
I mean, yeah, depending on, if you have less people, it's gonna go up. If you have more people, it goes down.
If it went online today, it'd be $250 a connection.
Do you guys know how much water that Bronson uses? Is that private information?
They don't.
Yeah, well,
We can't know that.
Yeah, you can.
That's like,
we don't wanna do
that seems
both.
like a important piece of information.
We have
If you just had
charts.
an average what Cedar Key uses,
Here's what you guys are using.
Yeah.
but we don't know what Cedar Key is using.
Yeah, it's on the chart.
Here you go.
I mean,
Here's what you're using today. Based on the data you report back to the state, you're using around 255,000 gallons of water a day.
How much, and we have a graph just like this.
Yeah.
For that, and that's just based on what they report.
So that's the question. is that-
but that's on the average of how many years?
This goes back to 2021.
Okay,
So
since
this
you
line
started,
here starts in
but it's
2021.
nowhere near that now because
This
there
is
was.
2025,
You
this is
see
where
when
you are
it spiked
today.
up in 2023?
The last 12 months,
Well, we're-
is this blue line here is the average, is around 255,000 gallons of water.
Because you just said it was for the last 5 years.
This graph goes all the way back to here. You
Right.
can see back here, in 21, you use less. You can see the graph slowly goes up. In the last 12 months, this part right here, you're using 255,000 gallons of water.
But I thought you just told me that 255 was the average over the last 5 years.
It's the
not
average over the
just
last 12 months.
So 255,000 gallons a month, that's what Bronson,
Yeah, we
That's
pulled
what you guys are
we pulled
using
it up
today.
at the office.
but we don't know how much
Cedar
Cedar
Keys using?
Sure.
Or is it, so is it 100, you know what I'm saying, like that?
Yeah.
Okay, that would be.
Let me ask you one more question. Now, once this debt, once they pay off the debt,
Here's
to
the
say
same
they
graph for Cedar Key.
had that, if they pay off the debt, what is the monthly charge that you're gonna charge Bronson? Is it just for water, however much water they need?
It's for the chemicals, the administration, the operation and maintenance services, just like any other utility.
It's gonna stay about the 85.
So it's not just gonna be for.
It should go down if you don't have any debt service. Right? Utilities are supposed to be revenue neutral. That's how they're supposed to be run. So whatever your cost is divided by the amount of service you're providing is what you're supposed to be charging. That's according to enterprise funds. Here's, everyone's asking what Cedar Key's water usage is. You can see it right here. It fluctuates quite a bit. You can see the months where Cedar Key did no water because of the hurricanes that occurred. But this is their data. This is what let me make sure.